a sister off guard. Hey, this is your girl Jay Essence. I am going live. That means most of y'all gonna catch the recap, and we're gonna be good with that. And I'm gonna sit here and say, first of all, hello to everyone. But there was somebody special in the comments who asked me a question yesterday about, can you tell me what it's like to move a family? And she's got a family of 5.
Well, 5. When we moved, we had 5 children.
Yeah. So hold on, because I'm going to tell you what happened to you, girl. So what I did was, like, instead of me talking with my no womb auntie mode, like, I don't do this. I do this. I don't do this.
Oh my God. Oh my
God. But I got my homegirl SWAT. And I'm going to say this first of all. Yes, this is an interview. Mm-hmm. It ain't going to be formal because this is family.
Period.
What is it? South side? But she did the move with your husband and 5 children to Africa.
Yes.
So before we get into the details, because now we at 6. 6 children.
Yeah.
The African fertile soil.
Yeah, we didn't have no TV.
But first, let's talk real quick. What made you say we moving?
So really, it was our children that called us out, raising them in like this African-centered lifestyle. You know how we do. Most of the people watching the channel or who are fans of Jay are probably on some type of African-centered conscious mode anyway. So one day our children were just like, if we love Africa so much, and if Africa is so great and beautiful and powerful and it's the motherland, why are we here and not there?
That's cold-blooded.
Yeah. And we really didn't have a good answer for that. It was like,
kids,
you know what? So that happened, and it was just on us for a while.
Oh, wow.
And then COVID happened, and it was like, okay, we just gonna add an extra week on spring break. Mm-hmm. And we was like, okay, let's go to the country. We did. Mm-hmm. And out there, of course, it was almost a year, months added on. Yeah. I think you were already in Dubai.
Yeah, I was in Dubai.
Yeah, when that happened. And so we just looked at each other. We looked at the children. And it was like, this is going to get worse before it gets better. Mm-hmm. And we already don't even really want to be here. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to make this move, let's go ahead and do it now. Like, this is the universe opening up for us to make this transition.
Let's slow that down. Just transitioning. Mm-hmm. I got to get the number. Like, that was 7 people.
7 people.
Just saying, I'm taking 7 people from America. Did you shut down?
We shut down.
You shut down.
And we've never been to Africa.
Okay.
Never visited.
Leap of faith.
Yes. Yes. We had never been to Africa, never visited. We were both raised African-centered too. So we have a lot of love for Africa that's been ingrained in us. But we had never been. And we didn't want to have that burden of having to come back and shut everything down because we knew we were going to want to stay.
Okay.
And so it was like, okay. And that's just my mind with traveling anyway with this many children, is if we go somewhere, we're going to set up shop for at least 3 months. You know, at least 3 months, because why go through all this trouble with all the resources and the traveling and all of this for a 2-week vacation? What are you doing?
Now, I'm going to say, because you journeyed the first part of that trip on, was it Facebook? Because I just know, to me, you made it an event. Like, y'all did not just go to a hotel. Like, y'all were at the hotel for like 3 days. You tried this, you did this, and then you moved. Like, every single piece was like an adventure, and like, it was something.
Yeah, it was. I mean, really, that's more so for the children. You just got to package it. Even if it's a struggle, it has to feel like this is the most amazing thing we could be doing right now. Because things are going to go wrong. That's inevitable with anything you're doing, whether it's moving to a new country or planning a birthday party. Somebody forgot the place. Like, something is going to go wrong.
Yeah.
So you just have to account for that, plan for it, and make it as positive as an experience as possible for the children.
Okay. So you first went to moving to the continent. The country that you picked was
Tanzania. And that's because, I know people have different views surrounding COVID and what it is. We didn't want to be required to do anything. And at the time, because we did have that "where you want to go" conversation, and it was like, well, what country won't require anything of us to come? And at the time, it was Tanzania.
Yeah. So then when did you move? Do you remember your years?
We moved October 2020.
Oh God, I moved November 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were right there together.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. We moved October 2020, and it was like October 30th.
Yeah, I was November 1st.
Yeah. So we were moving at the same time. And our flight was empty. It was maybe 2 other people on this big international flight. They fed us like 8 times because it was all the extra food. I mean, when we walked up to the gate, the people's eyes lit up like,
we have something to do.
Oh my God. Yes, a flight of people. They're coming. All this luggage.
So, because we are going to talk about you coming to Rwanda, but not yet. So, in this move, what was your beauty moment? What was the we hear moment? What was that?
I think I probably had that once we got settled into our place in Arusha. We came to Dar es Salaam, landed in Dar es Salaam, and Dar es Salaam was just like okay, we in Africa, but it was just like beating us in the head.
Oh wow, okay.
The cars, the sounds, because we have been in the country the whole time leading up.
Yes.
And so it was just like the complete opposite. It felt like somebody plopped us in the middle of New York. And 3 a.m. you still heard, and then the bionic mosquitoes, the mugginess that you just couldn't crawl through. It was just like, okay, I'm glad we didn't pick here to settle. And so a couple days after we got there, we went to Arusha and felt a breeze. Saw the mountains, got to the Airbnb, and the mama there was just everything.
Yeah, I remember your Airbnb too. And I was like,
I mean, she had like a everything garden in the back.
Yes, God, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Yes.
Every piece of produce you could think of was growing behind that house.
So I asked about what was the beautiful moment. What was a reality check?
A reality check,
or one of those, or like I'll give you. What was a like I gotta put my eyebrow. I gotta figure out how this is gonna work. Like,
well, not so much just refigure out how things are going to work, but really having to hunker down and learn the language to avoid being taken advantage of.
Yes.
Because you are ripe for being taken advantage of if you don't know what you're doing, where you going, how much things are supposed to cost. Like, it's school.
And then I will say this piece, like, I think because we are coming from like hustle, man, whatever mode, it's like we ain't trying to get got. You're gonna get got. Yeah. And I think you have to give yourself grace and time to learn the systems. Like even today, I was like, I don't think this is this. But it takes time because a lot of people might get frustrated or how dare they or whatever. And I'm just like, it's just one of those things that you really do have to deal with, because I will say the spirit of negotiation is actually a lot more prevalent than what we think of in the West.
Oh, of course.
Because like that's India. That's when we were in Dubai. Like, oh no, and like I've had people say, you didn't negotiate, and I was like, I ain't got time to negotiate. They was waiting for the.
I have my moments. I do. Like sometimes I'm in negotiating mood. Sometimes I'm not. My negotiating is saying the end price and staying there. Like either you're gonna give me this. I know this price is fair. It's probably not even as low as it could be, but it's fair, and I know it's a good price for you. Don't haggle me. But the reality of that is you having the discipline to learn the way. Yeah. To learn the language, to learn the prices, to learn how to ask for stuff. Like that's on you.
And I would say also you have to learn the way of doing things, because not everything is I'm trying to get you. because I would say that kind of with your. So there is a big difference between Rwanda and Tanzania.
Yes.
Okay, because you can say that. And so for me, there are certain things out here where I'll be like, no, they're not trying to get you. Like, this is what's happening, or they just don't know. I remember like the whole swimming pool thing. I was like, no, ain't nobody like. For me, there's a lack of communication when it comes to stuff. Like, you have to ask until you ask the right person.
Mm-hmm.
But and I only say that because it goes back to that grace of you having to learn, and then even sitting there saying like, no, this ain't the way it's going to be. So we're going to try again because this is not. This is. Let me help you figure out how to do this correctly. Because this is not.
She ain't lying.
You don't realize you messed up, but
Right.
you messed up. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you fix it. And that patience, I would say
that's a big word, and that's something like if you're in the States right now, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't have a lot of patience.
You have none. You don't understand.
Probably don't have a lot of patience. And then us just being Black and navigating, the traumas associated with that and how we deal with each other and our interpersonal relationships and communicating. Like, these are things, whether you in the States or in Africa or wherever you are in the world, we have to be conscious about taking the steps to combat that energy. It's something we have to think about doing and have to actually do. Mm-hmm. So when you feel that impatience rising up, you have to consciously say to yourself, this is not how I'm going to be. This is not how I'm going to deal with this specific situation. Mm-hmm. I'm not about to go off. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a whole sector of myself that I don't utilize. It's there. Mm-hmm. I was born and raised in Detroit. Mm-hmm. It's there. like I can go there, mm-hmm. but I make a conscious decision not to.
You do, because I'm just thinking about the car incident where I did go off.
Yeah.
and you and Baba was like, oh, she upset. Mm-hmm. Like, and they said, oh, she upset. And I was like, I just said. It was so bad.
Yeah, like if we don't work, then that can consume us. And that's our tribe.
And I would say in the patience, because like what you have, you'll find your triggers. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like I'm a lot more patient I'm patient with like the paperwork drama. Like if you're taking, I can sit there. I got my music. I can wait for y'all to do your job. Mm-hmm. I am not patient when you don't understand me. That's bad for you. Because I can stay in line as long as I'm in line. As long as the line move up, I'm good. I am not patient with not being understood. Mm. I think that's my trigger, where you're not listening to me. That's my trigger. Like, no. Okay. Because that's what happened. Yeah. It was like, no, this is what I'm saying. And then I'm trying to do the act. Like, I draw it. Like, look, I have given you 3 different ways that I draw it. I made the sound. I Googled the picture.
Right.
They wasn't understanding. No. Uh-huh. Yes.
It was a mess. It was.
But, so, go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you have to, these moments will come up. We do have these triggers. You know what yours are. I know what mine are. She knows what hers are. And sometimes you even got to identify those. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision not to go there because it really doesn't have a place here. Mm-mm. Like, you can go off on somebody all day. You can curse them out 10 ways from somebody.
You are primetime television at that point in time.
Yeah. Because they don't even, first of all, you not speaking their language. That's
Rwanda. That's yeah.
That's in Tanzania too. Yeah.
Like, you just saying.
All they're saying is, oh, they proving that you like the Black Americans on TV that we see on these reality shows.
I was gonna say, reality. I went to media.
But yeah, reality shows. Yeah. They're defining us.
But I will say, like, they know Cardi B before Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
So
for a reason. I mean, we unfortunately we're not in charge of that. We can put out as much media as we like, but mainstream is not under our control.
No.
And so for those of us that know better and come over here to do better, like, that responsibility is ours to educate, to redefine, to lead by example, to show and prove.
Mm-hmm. Girl, you about But we have to finish because I have to finish this part with the question.
Okay.
So you moved your family to Tanzania, and you stayed Tanzania a year.
2 years.
Oh,
Well, just about 2
years.
years.
It's 2 years.
It will be
It's
2 years in October.
Yeah, because I'm going on year 3, so you're going on year 3, but you're 2 years in Tanzania.
Right.
And then the question specifically kind of asked that process. So moving from Tanzania to Rwanda, because I'm going to have to ask you the real technicals too, and not necessarily money, because I'm not going to be in your pocket. But if you're moving a big family, what is the financial implications you should plan for?
Well, first and foremost, don't come over here if you don't have a way to make money while you're here. If you don't have a source of income while you're here, I don't care how big your savings is. I don't care how much planning you've done, or if you don't have a source of income while you're here, do not come. Set that up. This 2022, there's a number of ways to make money online. There are thousands and thousands of YouTube videos about things you can do to make income online, whether you're qualified or certified in certain areas or not. You just want to set up a drop shipping storefront on Shopify.
Do that.
Look, do something.
Do it.
Don't come over here. Definitely don't bring no children over here if you don't have a way to make some money. Like, if it's just you might be able to make it for a while. Don't come over here with children without a source of income.
And I was going to say too, with the source of income or that situation, like when you need it, you need it. It does not matter the amount of planning you do. You're going to burn it up.
Yeah,
you're going to burn it up. You're going to burn it up.
And the way things are priced here, like when it's not in USD, it's easy to spend. Easy. And then you realize, oh, you get one thing. Oh, these eggs are so cheap, and kind of feel like everything is cheap. And sometimes stuff is higher than it is in the States if you're not paying attention. And that adds up, especially with children. So you still have to budget, you still have to be conscious of your spending, and you have to have that source of income.
And I would say too, even because I think with children, and I can't speak on this, but for those who know, Mom has been gone for a little bit. She comes back Friday. Girl, snacks.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, because the thing is I'm not the snacker. My mom is. And so my mom, I didn't know how much she was supplementing the house, because she was going out on her snack binges and she would take care of the house. So there's always like cookies around or little snack, little thing. Child, I say this past month, I think I went up like $150 in snacks. And I was like, oh, come back here. Like,
And $150 is a lot. I mean, I know inflation happened in the States, but we come over here too.
And you feel it. I think that it's kind of like it's waves to it, like y'all's inflation's up here. Our inflation's here, but it don't mean that it don't count, because
it counts.
Yeah, it counts because our cost of living, everything else is different. So there is more. And then what did I just have the argument about? I just had some argument like we don't need no cheese. That's the one. This house don't need no cheese. No, we need cheese. No, we don't. Cheese is a want. Cheese went from a need to a want based upon this last price hike.
Right.
And then, girl, rice went up.
Rice is like, we get it. So that's another thing. Buying in bulk, just like you would over there. Doing that research, knowing how much you can get for how much and where, and being aware when the prices go up. But yeah, rice, I think it went from like 33 to 39.
Girl, yes, because Felix brought me that check yesterday. I was like, what? I was hot.
Yeah.
I was hot.
So anyway.
And you have to be careful with the rice out here, not in a bad way. Some people, they sneak plastic like in that rice or whatever. I'll be like, And I noticed he'll go through it. Like he goes through the rice before anything else. And I was just like, rice went up. So when you talk about that, I do agree with the whole, you need money in the bag.
Yeah, you do. Need to be able to. You do. You need to be aware of the foreign exchange.
Yes, and I was going to say, and as much as you, I hear it all the time. People are like, oh, I can fix cars, or oh, I can do this. And I want to say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, you can't count on your trade as a hustle.
No.
Because the price difference.
Right.
Your pricing is going to go down. Like, say, if you do hair, and you be like,
Like
girl, girl, I can do these braids and I can do all this other stuff and everything. I hope you're doing them for $20.
Absolutely not. I knew when I came here, I'm retired. And I was fine with that from doing hair. I'm going to have to find another way, and I have. But no, doing hair, I can't compete. And people have asked me, several people have asked, oh, can you do this? Oh, this is too tight over here. I know you know how to wear it off. Or, oh, ain't nobody doing sister box. Can you just do these micro hairs? And I'm like, I can. It's not. But I'm not about to have comparable prices. Like, you're gonna pay like you would in the U.S.
And I used to get my hair done from you,
yeah,
so I don't even
like,
feel right. I wouldn't even know how to come to you and be like, what's that, a 70% discount?
It's not my industry. I mean, I'll probably be able to open something successful and have other people work in it. But me, myself, in there sitting behind a chair, I can't. It seems like a lifetime ago that I was doing it. Honestly, it does.
Girl, I don't want to be like, I gotta take this. Entrepreneurship. I'm sorry. Sorry, this is so bootleg. I gotta take. Yes, is everything okay? Hey, I'm on a live video. Can I call you back in 10 minutes? Oh, Jesus, what's the problem? Okay, hold on. Can you just talk to the people?
Okay. It's us.
Hey, what's the problem?
All right. So at any rate, this whole video is for families coming out here, people coming out here with children. We have transitioned now, since being in Tanzania, to being between Tanzania and Rwanda. We're not done with Tanzania. We're here in Rwanda. Many family and friends told us about opportunities present here, and they were not lying. From what we've seen so far, it is a great place for children, and a great place for entrepreneurship, for exporting, investment. I mean, whatever sector you're willing to get into or interested in, you can absolutely do so out here. And that's the difference between, I'd say, Tanzania and Rwanda. For a foreigner, it's a bit easier, the process, getting into business out here. So if that's what you're looking to do, I would say consider Rwanda. If you're not so much looking into that, maybe you just want to work or maybe you just want to chill. Tanzania is a beautiful country and there are opportunities there as well. I would say on the legislative side of things, it's a bit more spendy. Like the prices of visas, the prices of permits, and things of that sort. It's more spendy, compared, but it's not impossible to do things there. I mean, we still have our arrangements happening there in Tanzania as well, affiliated with NGO there. Like, we're not done with Tanzania, and that's also a great place for children to be. But East Africa in general is beautiful. And I'm only speaking on East Africa because that's where I've been. But it's a big continent, and we plan to go all over. So I would say don't limit yourself per se. Find somewhere when you come over here to set up, make it like your home base. But don't feel stuck, you know. Go see other places. Being in Tanzania, Kenya is a bus ride away. Rwanda is a bus ride away. You can bus over to Uganda. Like, it doesn't have to be plane tickets every time you go somewhere. See the country. See the countryside. I wouldn't necessarily recommend a train, but people do it. People do it, but don't feel stuck. And you can come over here. The unique thing about us as Africans of the diaspora is that, one, we have a very intimate relationship with our enemy, if that makes sense. In a way that our brothers and sisters on the continent cannot always see. and find themselves falling victim to their tactics at times. And so part of our responsibility in coming over here is educating our brothers and sisters on what that looks like and how to protect themselves from it. You left me alone.
I know. I don't know. I know. Something's here like this.
I went there. I know. Yeah, if I'm left alone in this talk, is always going to circle back to that. But I talked about part of our responsibility in coming over here, and part of our unique advantage is having a very intimate understanding of our global enemy.
Oh, you went.
I did. Oh, I did. Hey.
I know y'all in here like this. Because I try to be, and I know you, because this is the thing first, I try to be like, I tell the truth, but I do allow the space for people to figure things out.
Yeah, for sure. In saying that, hey, in saying that, it's part of our responsibility, like I said, to educate our brothers and sisters here so that they don't fall victim in the way that they have in certain instances where that could be avoided. Like you might see something and see it as help or assistance, and we know better because we've lived with them, like elbow to elbow. And in some instances, we're able to foresee some things that might not have able to been otherwise easily seen. In addition to that, our connections to the West, we need to be doing business together. Like that is your connection. We are able to empower communities. We are able to, us and people who look like us, as opposed to coming and taken under the cloak of donating or mission.
Oh, you got good because I.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so.
I looked at there. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
That's what happened. That's what happened. Somebody was like, "Oh, she ain't telling jokes no more. She ain't telling jokes no more." That's what happened. She ain't telling jokes no more. That's what the click went.
Like, who is this?
This ain't J Essence. Where's the joke? Yeah. Where's the joke?
That was the inbox portion.
But no, let me stop and I'll say this because I don't want people to get it twisted. I do have very strong, that political opinions. I do have very strong convictions on what we need to do. I also will say in this, we need to buff our black. We need to shine it up sometimes. We need to get ourselves correct. And I'm going to say the controversial piece of just because you're over here and you no longer feel oppression does not mean you become an oppressor.
We don't need the black version of that.
We don't need Liberia. So you can read up on that history. But dude, that's why I said I tried to be so quiet. And that's why because it's like, in that piece. I wanted to bring it back around to make sure that we hit the answering of because we started with 5 kids. What happened?
Well, see, when a man and a woman yes, we had another little girl. We had 4 boys and 1 girl for a long time. And we broke that up with another little girl.
So let me ask the question, because we have to make sure you've been in Rwanda for a month?
Yeah.
About a month. So I'm going to ask this question, but this is also pertaining to Tanzania. How was the birth and childbirth pregnancy I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I don't know what this looks like. This is like crazy.
Yeah.
And we just had a nice, beautiful conversation about giving birth. And y'all have missed this entire conversation. I am gonna say, for whatever reasons, I feel like my internet's this has never happened. I've never had this patchy internet and like it's gone before. But I'm also no longer in Kigali.
That's true.
And it is what it is.
But
so
I'll say quickly about the birth piece that if you a normal pregnancy, normal healthy pregnancy, home birth kind of situation, or even with a midwife in a hospital birth center, because where I was, all of the nurses were also midwives.
Okay.
So, that's possible. If you think that you'll need a C-section, or if you think there will be
let me put my hand down. I'm not pregnant. I'm just saying I feel like I would fall into that category.
Yeah, if you think it's gonna be any kind of emergency thing, and I'm not even saying go to the States because okay. But I would not recommend you find yourself in a hospital in Tanzania. And I can't really speak on Rwanda, but Tanzania for sure.
I can say
don't want to. They're the best of the hospitals there.
Kenya. Everybody goes to Kenya. Yeah. Everybody goes to Kenya. Like even something that happened recently with two people I know. Like he had a bad fall. He had a bad fall. He went to Rwanda. They told him what to do. He followed through and did it. And he's like something. It came back. It heard we said we was leaving. We're not doing this. But what I was saying is that on a family tip, I would put money aside in a separate account for medical emergencies.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm not sure how insurance works out here, but you're going to be paying. If you don't have like some kind of international insurance coverage of some sort, everything with our birth and prenatal, postnatal, all of that was paid out of pocket.
Yeah. How much was it around?
The visits weren't expensive. They were about $15 per visit. And then the birth itself, it depends on where you go, but it could be anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000, depending on what happens.
So, and then when you talk about medical out here, you can pick up medical insurance. There's a couple. I did a whole bunch of research on my cousin connection, and there's actually a plan through. They changed their name. It was UAP, but they have an Eastern Africa coverage. And I was like, that's the plan I wanted to pick up because it wasn't just Rwanda. Even though it was based in Rwanda, it was good for Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya. That was the big one for me. Kenya, like, so they covered all your medical stuff there. And it was a decent price. I was really shocked.
And then getting to the hospital and them knowing what you're talking about.
Great.
Like, I have UAP. No, we don't know about that.
And then something simple. You saying UAP and out here be a UAP. So you don't realize y'all are saying the same thing, and it's like what it is. So but yeah, so that was, so we go back to, so you gave birth.
Yes.
In Tanzania.
I gave birth in Tanzania.
So we have 6 children.
We have 6 children.
6 little children jumping on the bed.
And it's beautiful. It is. One of the barriers I had to get over within myself was allowing people to help me, because that's not who I am.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah. I'm not that person. I'm really not.
Okay, do you remember our first conversation of I'm gonna do everything myself? And it was like you were trying to wash clothes.
I did.
And I was like,
when we got to that Airbnb in Arusha, I was washing clothes by hand. We didn't have washer and dryer. I was washing sheets by hand. I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was working, I was doing all of these things. I was.
And I'm telling you all the other because I don't think you knew, because I don't like admitting when I'm trifling, that she's sitting here like, no, I got my husband, I got my children, I'm gonna do everything myself. And I'm sitting there like, I got me a housekeeper and it's just me.
Okay.
Like, I got help.
Yeah.
And it's just me.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I got it.
And I did that for some months.
Why?
I know, because it was just my mind. And that's part of Western society, especially for us. Like, who got a housekeeper? Who? And then what does that even look like? And so it was like, no, I'm doing it. I don't want nobody that close to my children. I don't want even, like, I just had all of these blocks. And really, it's a spiritual thing. When you get the right person in your house to assist with your household, it's a spiritual relationship.
It is.
You know?
Because here, it's like I said, it's a team. We're a team.
Yeah, yeah. And you feel it. Like the interconnectedness, the communalism, you feel it. It's not, it doesn't feel like a job or like you're hiring somebody. This is somebody you're choosing to be a part of the fabric of your life.
But the other piece of it is like I said, there's some deep conversations once mom comes back and we all can talk. Because mom was like you when she first came to see me the first time in Dubai. How dare you? Yeah. I raised you better. You can clean, you can do this, you can do that. And then so she shut my first lady down. And my first lady was like, can you tell her this is how I feed my children? Yeah. Like, it's a job. Yeah. Like, I'm invested in this. And I think now with the team, because I don't know if you laughed at me when I was like, hey, the team, and you like, let me stand back. Because everything moves here.
For real.
But
like a dance.
It is. But everybody is part of something here, you know. Even my team be like, oh, we are going here. Like, yeah. And it becomes that when you find good people, when you can trust. Now I'm gonna sit here and say, because I'm who I am. Just because you land in Africa don't mean the first person to come up to you is that the one. Is the one. It's dating. It's the dating. It's the.
You have to have discernment here, just like you would have to have discernment in any other part of the world. Like, our eyes get big and they, glow, and you just, oh, it's a
motherland and
the
juice and da da da
da. Oh, shake that off. Yeah. Shake that off. Yes. Like, you have to.
You're a business.
You are.
And I'm not saying that like, hey, it's J Essence and it's a business. No. Whatever you create is what you create, and it's a business. It's running, it's operating, it's doing something somewhere. It is going to be what it's going to be. And so I had to change my mindset to be like business, because I can't have everybody come in. And at one point I had too many people. And I had people I was keeping around because, oh my gosh, it's their salary. It's da 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 da. And no, you are not helping towards the productivity of what needs to happen. And I've sat there and told my team, anytime I have to turn around and come back and talk to you or look back at you, you're taking up time of me moving forward. When I move forward, we get paid. When I move backwards, we don't.
Right.
Girl, right. Now they be, she don't need nothing.
Exactly. And that's the part of it, especially if you're a working woman, a working person. You accomplish so much more when there's certain household things you just don't have to consider. Because they're handled. They're handled. And people understand their role in that. Like she said, it has to work together in order for y'all to get paid. A lot of the times, people who are assisting you at your home have an assistant at their home that they have to pay.
They do.
Like, it's ingrained. It's a part of the culture here. It's not. It's only a demeaning relationship if you make it one.
When I said before, some people get happy to not be oppressed, and then they become oppressors. It's whatever relationship you build it to be.
Right.
It's whatever relationship.
It's like a superpower.
What are you going to do with your superpower?
Exactly.
What are you going to do with your superpower?
It's going to be evil stuff happening. And if you want to empower people, then that's what's going to happen.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Y'all moved to Rwanda.
We did. We
Do
did.
you want to say
I told them a
why,
little bit
or-
about it. I did when we just a little bit,
Just a little
saying,
bit,
you know, family and friends told us Rwanda was the spot. They told us that really in the beginning. When you came here in that November 2020, we were supposed to visit that January.
You were.
We had tickets and everything.
You did?
We did.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and I was calling like, how much it cost to stay in Rwanda? Like,
Yes.
we were planning.
But the only thing, you were, because I moved to my first house December, just in case. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And what happened was COVID was just really strict here.
We locked down.
Time.
We locked down.
Yeah.
We locked down.
It was
in
the
January.
lockdown. She was like, oh, I was like, some just told me to ask, what is COVID like there?
Oh, it's
and it was like,
change.
It shut down like roads.
It's change.
Blah,
it's like
blah,
staying with your grandparents. It's like
and,
staying with your grandparents
I was like,
in the summer. Like,
and Baba was like, I ain't trying to do that.
I remember that. Yep.
I was like, dang. So we just canceled that trip, and it took us over a year to make it back out here.
I will say, I think there's a difference. So for some of you guys, you're gonna have to catch this from the beginning, because you guys researched Rwanda.
Yeah.
Oh, let me say, as a friend, I love you. Because y'all researched Rwanda to the point where it's like, so it's a capital R.
Right. Right. We did. We did the same thing with Tanzania too. And I mean, hours and hours we studied. And as part of coming here, you have to study. You have to discipline yourself. And I cannot emphasize enough learning the language, even if it's just a little bit. Like, that's number one, is respect for the country itself. Yes, whatever country you in, whether it's Rwanda or Japan. Learn a little bit
of the language.
The
only reason I want to change it is because I'm guilty. I'll be like, can we just do culture?
Both.
Can we just do culture?
It's all a part of the work. It's all a part of it, because the more we know,
I was going to say,
the more we're able to assist. Right. Look at this.
I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. I am trying. Ooh. So hard.
Right. The more we know, the more African people around the world that we're able to communicate with, the more we can empower ourselves as a community, a global community. If we can't speak to each other, that's number one, different languages. Even in East Africa, it's like hundreds of different languages.
And I was going to say, not only is it's the, I already won't get me political, I'm not trying to go there, but it's the, there is an ignorance associated with the way I know is the way. And I say that because I'm going to go back to almost America, like how people are with conservative Bibleism. And it's like, you refuse to listen to anybody else. You refuse to know anything else. This is all I know. And when it comes now, when you talk about Africa and African countries and different tribes, the want of us to be so gutted in what we know is right or what we are or our ego is going to stop us from being a bigger entity as a community. We are beautiful, united. And I'm going to tell you how I know this, because I wasn't there. But from what I had heard of in the civil rights movement, the fact that people were marching and kids were marching and skipping school and just being there. The silent protest of our presence was enough to make you want to change things. And then I even moved to where we are Power Force. All them Black churches that put together scholarships for that one community member to go to school and come back and change things. So you know we're powerful. And it goes into the Trevor Noah book that I read, that the best thing that South Africa did in their racism is to teach each Black person that they were totally different from each other and stop them from being able to unite as one. And he said that's the thing that messed up with the United States, which is one of the things I think is happening now. Because when we had to go through civil rights, everybody was Black. Remember, one drop made you Black. So we was all on the same side. Like, it didn't matter. Y'all put a very distinct boundary of who we are. And he was like, oh, you Black. They push people over. Like, we don't care about your green eyes. We don't care about this. And so what happened is we were all a united front. And of course, I think in the 2000s, too many people are talking. And it's like, well, you could do things this way. You could do things this way. We still oppressed as a whole.
At the end of the day, ultimately,
you ain't winning. You ain't getting the bank loan. I ain't getting the bank loan. We ain't getting the bank loan. Where's our banks?
Right. y'all want to argue over this, over that. Oh well,
we need to take
Ariel
35th
should've been-
and 9th to get there. Well, I think we need to take
that.
26 and 7. Can we just get there
Like,
how
we
you can?
dealing with all kind of stuff. I mean, I don't want to argue about pronouns when we oppressed.
Ain't nobody got a now. So I get what you're saying, and so, but I will say I'm going back to what your original piece of the conversation was. Learning the language is the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Being grateful for being able to have this opportunity and thank you for the doors being open
Mm-hmm.
is the first step. The first step is saying, we here, and then I would say our second step almost is like, it ain't pretty. Like, that's so much of the conversation right now. Like, why y'all here? Like, even when we get stuck, not stuck, when we go through immigration, they be like, so you moving? Yeah, we don't want to be where we was.
Yeah.
Y'all got a good thing.
They're
here.
like, but we're spending our whole lives trying to get there.
Yeah, we're trying to go there.
We are here to tell you the truth about America. I have done that and stood on my soapboxes and taxis and everything.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Like, you need to know the truth. If you tell them police are killing us today, unarmed black people in America, black people are still being found lynched, hung from trees, and being called suicide. Like,
but my thing is don't well, I don't want to go into analogies. I'll just tell the truth. Don't fall in love with what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do, I don't have any problem with somebody saying, I want to go to the West for an education. I actually don't have a problem with that if you know the game, if you know the education you're getting. So I equate it a lot to the kid who wants to play basketball at college. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they're going to take from you. You like pay it. This is going to happen. I equate it to the like the NBA players and the NFL players. You're going to get me so political because I'm trying not to. But if you're making $2 million, $5 million, $7 million, you got to know this ain't forever.
Uh-huh.
So what are you getting in return? Shaq went to school. Shaq paid all his people to go to school. Where is he now? Use what little bit they give you so you can use it against them later. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to turn around and say, I want to go to West for this. Yes, you want to go to West because you want to be able to get an education. Not saying Western education is better than anybody else's education. What I'm saying is everybody knows that a name carries something. So take a college with a name that's going to propel you to different places or network you to something and go and learn what you need to learn and take it back and bring it home. Just like my homegirl Nelly.
Bring it home.
When she was sitting out there and she told us that she was sitting there in Sweden or whatever, working regular job, but she was sending money back and they were buying up land. She was buying up Rwandan land with her Rwandan money. But like, that's what you do. There's a way for you to turn around and take what you're learning and do it and build. But if not, you're going to get caught up in the taxes. You're going to get caught up in hustle society. You're going to get caught up paying for this. You're going to get caught up paying for that. And let me go ahead and give you another bad one so everybody can beat me in my tail for saying what I'm going to say. You're going to get caught up with helping family. And if you don't learn how to turn around and take your salary and lie, and instead, so if you're making $1,000 a week, you'd be like, nah, I'm making 600, and you stacking 400 for something different because people gonna come and ask. You're gonna be compelled, and you don't want to be, because we had that when people moved out from the South and they were so drained they just broke off ties. You can't break off ties. You got to know what it is, and you got to be able to be the smart one to know how to build future, because nobody around you know how to build future. You're coming from what they used to know. So you have to be able to say, okay, I'm going to take this and educate. I'm going to put this right now. Stock markets ain't the thing, but right now, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to put this here. I'm going to do this here. And so when it's time, or when I'm smart enough, or when I'm ready enough, we got this to be able to build. Like I said, if I could have come to Rwanda, I was still dumb. So this is a bad analogy. Jesus, just help me out. If I could be right now, I'd be looking at time travel movies like, oh God, just give me a chance. I would have told myself so many different things. But if I could have $20,000 right now, that farm would be done. Woo! Like it's not about a house. It's not about, the farm would be done.
The people who need it don't never have it.
Girl, if I knew, like, part of me was like, can I go back to school and get financial aid? Like, because that net check, I know what I use my net. Like, if I could go back and be like, you about to get a net check, there's a thing called Google. Just stick. You don't need to be at the Kappa's yacht party. Just put it in Girl, ain't nobody gonna the dude who like you still gonna call you at 2 a.m. in the morning anyway. So don't be there. Don't worry about the fit you're gonna wear.
I know it's hard to hear. I know.
If there's this thing called Google.
Listen.
That's who I should have been dating. Should have had a brother be like, yeah, so my name is Google. I'll be like, Google. Where Tyrone at? Tyrone is getting a call from Erica Badu.
Wow.
Hi, Jay, so my name is Tesla. The things you know in hindsight.
Listen. Yes, but like I said, that's part of our unique positioning. Only somebody who came up in the West could tell you that about the West.
Yeah, I mean, or I can sit there, I can tell you now, like for people who are planning to come, just like you have the girl, like I said, this whole thing shouted out, and shout outs to her for saying, I'm moving my family over. How do I do it? Cool. Let's connect you. Let's get you here. Let's get you here. Let's get you here.
Yeah.
Let's get you talking to people who
Another important piece is knowing in advance what you're going to do when you come. That way, the embassy there can help you before you come here. So you don't have to come here. First of all, I do not recommend coming to visit.
Oh, you don't.
Going back. I personally,
you don't.
I'm talking to the sister with the 5 children.
Go for it. Oh, okay.
Yep. Sister with the 5 children. I don't recommend coming to visit because you're gonna want to stay.
I gotta shout you out on that one.
Yeah, you're gonna want to stay.
I never saw that coming. Girl, plot twist.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna tell you that now, and you don't want to have the weight and the burden of having to pick everybody up to go back to tie off all those affairs. Handle that now. If you know for sure you're coming, start the process of shutting down the house, cars, whatever assets. You know, you can keep your U.S. bank accounts. I don't recommend closing those. Keep them.
Yes. And let me say, no PayPal here, no Cash App. Keep your stuff.
Yeah, keep your stuff. Keep it. Stuff. And keep those accounts too, so that people over there can still pay you for whatever you might be doing. VPN, yes. They got videos on all of that. But speak to the embassy. If you come to Rwanda, it's the Rwanda embassy in DC, and y'all can have all your paperwork and visas and stuff done there, so that when you come here, you can stay long term and have everything in order. And you won't have to worry about trying to do those things here or trying to come in as a tourist and then figure your way out past being a tourist. How do we stay? Where do we have to go? Do we have to cross the border every such and such a month? And that's part of the research as well. That's part of doing the homework. But like I said, know what you're coming to do. If you're coming to do business, then start that process. Get your paperwork in order. Contact the embassy and have your business visa before you come. Have your dependents on it before you come. That way you come here, you go right to immigration, you get your stamp right away, and everything is already set. That's not something on your to-do list when you arrive. That's something that can be handled in advance. And I recommend handling as much in advance as you can. So if you don't have to come as a tourist, don't. You don't want to be a tourist and the 5 children being a tourist, and then you got to figure out all the way. Don't do it if you don't have to. Now, if you have to, that's different. But being still in the States and being able to contact the embassies there, you can get a lot of business handled and get a lot of information. Like when you're doing your research, I know a lot of y'all watching YouTube videos. I mean, you can also contact the embassies and talk to people directly. And that's like the best research you can do. A lot of the time, the websites aren't even properly updated. So call and talk to somebody. Get a
my cousin connection.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I was hearing what you're saying. There's a lot you can do. Oh, this is the one thing I would say, coming from I have no children. Disclaimer. So I could be totally wrong. I do like the shutting down for kids because kids don't know tenacity, and they are going to always want to be able to say, I go back home. And if you shut things down and be like, we ain't got no home to go to.
Exactly. this is home. Wherever we are is home.
It's home.
We are world travelers.
And so I would say I would definitely say with the kiddos piece, shutting down is better. Not the fact that we're going back because and this is all about the different personalities of your children. But to know that's one of the things people, I want to go back here. Oh, it's hot. Yeah. And the thing is, people don't realize how resilient kids really are. Yeah. But everybody goes through being uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable actually trains you up for other things in life.
That's right.
Like, how are they? I mean, even if you go to college or not, like, but how are you going to turn around and have a child that goes to college and is 100% just happy? Like, I do know that if I had a child, I wanted my child to be open to international universities. You know, I wanted my child to be one. I went to Paris and studied for a year. Right. I wanted my child to be able to do those things. That means that I have to be able to build a child who's able to live without mama right there. I have to be able to build a child who knows how to problem solve. And that's one thing when people say, how did you become who you are? My mother grabbed her, like, when I was now find it. Like, okay. Like, I had to learn how to be self-sufficient. I went to school away from home. So I could not always call home to save things. I could not, you know, plus, like, let's be honest, you know, you do some things. Girl, I blew out 4 tires of the car in college. I don't even remember.
That's skill.
At the same time, like, Dukes of Hazzard.
Wow.
Like, I think I hit the wrong button, whether like gas or whatever, at one time. And instead of it stopping, it hit, like, jumped the curb and landed in the middle of the like grass area. And all 4 tires was like, Mama don't know about that. When I tell you the amount of hustle that I did to pay for 4 tires and got that car working in 48 hours so I wouldn't lose the car, made me a stronger woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And it teaches them to stand on their square, you know? Wherever you are on the planet, like, this is you. This is your being. And you are constantly redefining your reality. That's
so I will say that part for, I think for kids, you have to make it, we're here, we're not there. And in the spirit of, if it hurts, let's talk about it, let's cry. If it's da-da-da, so what do we need to do to resolve it? What do we need to do to fix it? And then somebody just asked, would you say she should scout by herself? I'm a yeser. What you are?
Scout for what?
So for me, what I would say is, if you can get away for a week to 2 weeks, yes, I would come to the country and see it. Just like, I'm about to throw it back in your face. I got you. Just like when you said Dar es Salaam was not for y'all. You know.
But we knew that. Because like, of the Dar was our layover. We knew we wasn't going to want to stay in Dar.
Okay. So let me stop and say, and this is the beauty between SWAT and I, it's not going to be a right or wrong answer. It's just different ways to do things.
Yeah, and you know yourself better than we do. So it's the kind of person you are. How do you handle surprises? How do you handle changes? How do you handle quick shifts in energy? You know, how do you navigate that for you?
I hate to say this, because at this point in time, I am a hypocrite, because I have never scouted none of the places I moved to. But the other piece of it is knowing who I am. I think I know that if I came to Rwanda, and I was planning to scout Rwanda, I think God just was like, because I wouldn't have patience. If I knew there was a better opportunity, I would be so hungry to get back to that beautiful opportunity. I would not necessarily start. Like, I wouldn't enjoy where I was right then. I would be so busy wanting and lusting and going after. And then the problem is that if it happens or something breaks, I get crushed. So I do think that in my pattern, like I told people, God has taken care of me. Right. Because I would not have been able to see. And I've seen this happen with people with my cousin connection who came out here for 6 weeks and was like one dude I know was just like, oh, I do have to go home. Like, and moved his whole family out here. And totally changed, because he's just like, I don't feel the pressure that I felt before. And he didn't leave. So,
and then, are there people already there whose word that you trust? Like Jay, like she said in the beginning, we family.
We family.
If she says SWAT, you know, it's XYZ out here, then I know XYZ.
Mm-hmm. And it was stuff like you ain't gonna like this part. You ain't gonna like this one. Okay, this one's doable, but you're not.
Yeah.
Like, so I will say you have to have someone. And I say this again, because especially when YouTuber and people in this, you have to know the difference between a salesperson and a person who's giving you something that you can buy. A salesperson is going for the buy no matter what.
Right.
A person who's just giving you the information is telling you, but if you put it on the table or not, it's there. Mm-hmm. And so you have to understand that the difference. And I feel sometimes people are like, oh, you're selling Rwanda. No, I'm telling my truth. Mm-hmm. And I have no problem because this is what stresses me out. This is what gets me frustrated. These are the kind of things.
Right.
It's not perfect, but it's the place for me.
And I'll say that myself and my husband, like, we're easy people. We really want the drama. We don't want to, not that we're incapable, mm-hmm. but we just make a conscious effort not to take it there, mm-hmm. because it'll go there and then what? Now we're sitting here and it went there. We need actual viable steps towards mm-hmm. whatever the goal is at the time, and everything we need to do needs to take us closer to that, all while being a divine example for our children. So when things happen, when these shifts occur, mm-hmm. when things don't go according to plan, you know how you handle that. Mm-hmm. Are you able to handle that? Mm-hmm. Because I would say it happens here a lot. Girl. You might be in the taxi and it might break down. How would you handle that? It might run out of gas. How would you handle that? You might be on the boat trip and the boat run out of gas and now you float in the middle of the ocean.
That happens.
How would you handle that though? Is it going to be
that happened to me?
Are you one of them people?
So in Liberia, we sit there on the high. Okay, Liberia at the time. So this is 2008. I do not know anything about Liberia now, but at the time, Liberia must have got some money to have a highway because baby, they paved that highway over and over. It was just that one street. Girl, we are driving on this one street, and we coming the other way, and the taxi is packed. Right, the taxi's packed, and all of a sudden we see like an extra wheel, and we look. Girl, the wheel of the taxi is rolling beside me. And the taxi, and also this leader, so it's leaning on 3 wheels, and you got all these people in there leaning on the other side, and the wheel of the taxi.
Oh my God!
And also you see somebody running to grab the wheel, and I just sat there and looked, and I was like, "We need to check our wheels."
Wow!
Because I don't know what I would do in that situation.
But yeah, things like that happen. They happen here. And how do you handle that? Like, are you one of the people that needs everything working and going according to plan all the time? It's not Africa. Is not the place for you.
The whole
of Africa. I promise you. It's not the place for you. Mm-mm. It's not.
If you can't function, let me give you this one. If you can't function, if stuff is not done on time,
Africa is not the place for you. It is not the place for you. You need things going according to your schedule and your time all the time.
If you're trying to get 20 things done in one day,
no.
Like the thing is like instead of saying what time, girl, this happened with the sign. What time is the sign? Shout out for the signs. The sign was supposed to be here at 11 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I have to learn. I'm gonna have to remember this now. Right on my mantra. The question is not what time it will be done. Is it will be done by night. Like those are two, because that sign did get put up 10 minutes before the sun went down.
Yeah. And so it would have been bad for her to say, okay, we're gonna get the sign up and then we're gonna have a photo shoot in the afternoon and then we're gonna have a dinner to celebrate. Like, no.
Let me stop. The sign going up, my new goal was before Mama came.
Okay. Yes.
I had 7 days to get the sign up. Before my mother come, the sign needs to be up.
Right.
The sign is up.
Yeah, don't put several.
But I was like 7, 8, 7, like, because that has happened where I was like, hey, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna be here from 9 to 10. I'm gonna go here.
And even my husband got to reel me in sometimes because I'm gonna do a bunch of things in one day kind of person because I want to knock it out.
We get it done.
Let's knock it out. I mean, today is today. We're here today. Let's do it today. And he'll say, I think that should happen tomorrow. And now
why has it got to happen to tomorrow?
Right.
Why? But that's no, because you'll be on one by that time. I don't understand why it's got to happen to tomorrow when today is still here. I'm still looking. I'm still living. We're in today.
That's me.
Why must I wait for tomorrow to finish what can be today? Let me see. It takes 45 minutes for it to happen. It only takes 45 minutes for it to happen.
And
so
then
why,
it'll be done.
Why? Oh, so you got something against me.
I'll go there.
So what are you trying to say about me? I just want to make it first. Are you trying to say I'm not capable?
Okay.
Do you not know the woman who's looking in front of you? I can get this done in 42 minutes if I chose to, but why must I wait till...
Yeah.
You trying to stop me.
Yeah. Why,
by that time, people
why
like,
you don't want to be productive?
Why must we?
Yeah.
Why must we? And then here's the truth. I don't want to do it tomorrow because we got 4, 5, 6, and 7 to do tomorrow. So you meaning that I got to put 3 and 4 back on here? Don't understand why. Make this make sense.
And then
give me
it
a drink.
get done tomorrow.
Give me a drink.
And we all fight like the world is not crashed. Yeah. So anyway, you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You do. Africa, I'm not gonna speak on as a whole,
not
but
as a whole.
It is our motherland. There's no denying that.
Oh God.
It is. It's no denying it. Like you come here and you just home. Period. If that's where you want to be. It's a beautiful place for children. Like Jay said, if you a person that needs to scout stuff, you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Then come out here. I don't recommend bringing everybody out here.
Mm-mm.
Just come out here and see what you can see, and then go on back. But when you when you make that move, shut everything down. I mean, don't keep nothing. Sell stuff. You know, you're gonna feel so much lighter, so much more mobile. You know, when you can move everybody in some suitcases, and boom, we somewhere else.
Your whole life is in a suitcase.
Yeah, it's so much lighter.
And I'll say this part without that one. And I think I learned that one at a young age. Whatever, everything can be bought.
Mm-hmm.
Everything can be bought. So I feel like for me, it's more so instead of stacking stuff, stack cash.
Yes.
Stack the cash.
Yes.
It might cost more, but it can be bought. Because let's just something basic, the television.
Mm-hmm. Don't bring a TV. Don't get a shipping container with a bunch of stuff in it.
First of all, the plugs. Like, don't have that happen.
Yeah.
Where you just spend all this money to get something in and you plug it up and it burns out.
Exactly.
Dubai.
Dubai. Very much happened. Like, we had a
hair
whole
dryers.
PlayStation stop working.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Girl, I would have been on the floor.
Couldn't even use it.
No, I wouldn't even be on the floor. I would have been in Google.
Uh-huh.
So they said move C to B.
Okay.
Girl, I would have been an engineer student so quick. I would say that piece. There's skills now I wish I knew out here.
Mm-hmm.
Fixing cars.
Yeah.
Certain skills.
Honestly, you get out here, you get set up, you got the time to learn the skill.
Oh, you are so positive. Just like, look, your life can align. You can do anything
true,
you want to do.
It's true. Like when I found myself with all the extra time on my hands, I said, let me learn some new stuff.
Girl, that's what do I do with extra time on my hands? I build business. I don't know how to do nothing but be a workaholic.
Yes.
That's what I did with extra time.
But you will have that time, and you optimize it in a way that best fits you and your life and your goals. And it's doable. Like, we really speaking a foreign language, because who got extra time in the States? Who got extra time?
And the difference is in the States, they hold you responsible for what you should be doing or learning in your extra time.
They make your
schedule. It's like, wait, so I feel pressure like, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Yeah. Like, I'm supposed to be up going somewhere at this time. I'm supposed to be in traffic at this time. I'm supposed to arrive where I'm supposed to be at this time. I'm supposed to stay there for these many hours. I'm supposed to leave at this time.
You want to know the one for me? Sundays. And I'll tell you why. I lay in on Sundays if I want to and do absolutely nothing at all. And I remember I would feel guilty, like, okay, I need to at least do laundry. Let me go do this, or let me do, like, there was no such thing as just sitting down and being lazy.
Yeah, like doing, and really, it's not even lazy. It's part of the work.
I was gonna say it was resetting. It's resetting
because your body is gonna sit you down at some point if you don't. sit yourself down. It might as well be a part of what you're doing. Nothing is something. I had to teach myself that.
Ooh,
doing nothing is doing something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of the process.
So this is a beautiful conversation about how to move 5 kids to Africa.
Yeah, really. I mean, and beyond.
I would say if we had to, like, let's sum it up, because number one, we can go there and we see this.
Especially when she left me alone.
I don't know. I'm gonna go back and watch. Like, I don't know. She probably gave you the keys to the kingdom. So then you turn right, 90 degrees clockwise. Twice.
Oh my god!
Right there, the jewel. Use it to educate. Empower the mind.
Yeah. I would say if it's on your heart, it's on your mind, ancestors, spirit speaking to you to get out here, then it's for a reason. Don't ignore that. Okay? Don't deny that. If you need a sign to say, I just need one more sign, and then I'm moving to Africa, take this as your sign.
Oh, no, I don't even want to come after that. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I would say, I know what you think failure is, and you're worried that you don't want to fail. But there's actually no failing in going forward, because even if something doesn't work, the journey and the lesson and the being is enough. And I say that because of the whole Liberia situation with me. I thought I failed. Like, first of all, let's be honest, how I fail a whole continent.
Right.
But it did. Like, I was really trying to looking at Africa again because of what happened in Liberia. And then now I come back, I'll be like, ooh, everything that happened in Liberia was for a reason. Oh, I learned so much. It just wasn't my time to stay there for long term.
Right.
And like I say to people now, sometimes it's just, unfortunately, it's just not your time to stay long term. But if you hold on to it, you know what to do to make it your time. Because I can tell you this, which I did not know, even dealing with Liberia, I recognized before I moved to Rwanda, there's a two set prices. There's the local price, and then there's the foreigner price.
And I go local.
Yeah, but at the time, I explained that to a Western, like, I couldn't explain that. So what I did know when it's time for me to look in Africa again, I was like, oh, I know it's two separate prices. Because I dealt with that. Girl, Raisin Bran was, give me a second, $24. This is 2008.
Let me tell you this right quick. I'm going to insert this. Because cereal is high here. Cereal, like dry cereal pour out the box, is high. My son, Samir, he got a box of cereal for his birthday.
Boom, 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 boom.
Cereal, and we made some I tell you, he was excited. Now, all of them were,
and you better eat it all.
They did. One sitting, they ate all that cereal.
Yes. Because I was going to say, and the thing is, and I was going to say too, with the whole Raisin Bran thing, like, I didn't want to buy it. And the person with me was like, we buying it. And we had to split it. Girl, I wanted to fight them.
Ain't no way.
I'm going to say something controversial. Not everybody who's an elder is wise.
Come on now. It's the difference between old and elder. It's the difference.
Because age, I lost on the age. You know what I'm saying? I lost.
I don't give everybody that title.
$24 Raisin Bran.
Come on. It ain't that deep.
And you,
except that some of the stuff you've been eating.
No, I was going to say.
Out here.
No, that's what I was going to say. What'd you say?
Some of the stuff you've been
Raisin
eating.
Bran, you fought for Kellogg's Raisin Bran?
Right, like.
I mean, if you're going to turn around and, like, make a sacrifice, like.
Don't do it for Raisin Bran.
That's all I have to say. Like, give me a Snickers bar. Like, there's some things, like, let me tell you what, I could fight for Jiffy Mix right now.
Oh, wow.
I could fight for Jiffy grits. Mama can't bring grits back.
Why?
She's at the weight limit. Girl, that won't hurt me.
Dang.
That one hurt me. And cornmeal. But we got somebody else bringing cornmeal. But I'm just saying, if we're going to have to box and go at it, it's not for raisin bran. There's some things I'm going to throw down. I'll throw down the ingredients for a good mac and cheese. As I stated before. Because let me tell you the other issue that we can't say. Milk is real out here.
Yeah.
Milk is milk. Therefore, the raisin bran I know with the pasteurized steroid milk, it ain't the same taste.
It's not.
Because that's ketchup. I don't even mess with ketchup no more. Ketchup is a disappointment. So, but that's it.
Yeah, we got to do a whole nother video. We probably do. There's so much more to say.
So much more to say.
I got to get to my little one.
Yes, the baby. The new one.
Yeah.
The one who came into the world.
Yes.
Was the Mufasa.
No.
I'm here. And you're like, how did you get here? Nobody. I tried this thing for the last time.
Yeah, that's my baby though.
Oh, she
all
is
of them.
Yeah, they all are.
And then we talked about, like I said, we gotta do another video. But the freedom.
Yeah.
You know, the black boy joy in my household.
There it is.
The black girl magic.
There it is.
Them seeing free African children grow up. It's just.
Well, I think this also that they're growing up without boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. And me still being able to explain to them certain things, certain realities, with them still having this empowering environment in every way. Like just seeing themselves everywhere, eating fresh air, you know, just like I said,
a little too fresh.
Part two.
Because the way they was killing that food sometimes, I'll be like, can Auntie have a little first?
I know, they big. I mean, you see they mama. Damn.
They awesome. They awesome. So we're saying goodbye. Thank you so much. Peace. Girl, all the way in.